Hi there. Here's a cube action problem that came up in Los Angeles. Um, the score is 5-5 at a match to 9. 4 away, 4 away. Red is on roll. Should red double? And if red doubles, should blue take or drop? Okay, the approach that we teach at the Backgammon Learning Center is that you never really make a decision on whether or not to give the cube until you use Woolsey's law and first ask yourself if you would take the cube if you were your opponent. That makes the other side easier because according to Woolsey's law, if you're pretty sure the other player would drop, it's a double unless you're too good to double, too many gammons. If you're not quite sure, then for sure it's a double. And if you're pretty sure it's a take, then you have to just look at market losers and see if you're too likely to lose your market, meaning that on the next roll you would not get a take too much of the time. Too much depends on the score, the volatility of the position, and how you're feeling that morning. The truth is there is some of that. That's the poker part of backgammon. If you feel like you're more likely to get a drop or your opponent is not going to play the checkers well, there's all kinds of other things that you should put into the equation. The computer doesn't put any of those things in the equation. It just crunches numbers and assumes that both players play perfectly. But when I look at this position, I came to the conclusion that blue should take the cube. It's scary. You're not happy to take this cube. But if your opponent does not roll a great roll like a double 3, double 4, or 5-3, even double 1 that shifts and makes this point without hitting, those are the few really killer rolls. Of course, double 5 would hit 2. So there are quite a few killer rolls, and that's why I know it's a double, because those market losers can be huge. But just hitting loose with a 5 or a 3, blue has some counterplay, could come in and hit back, could come in and make the anchor. And what about the times that red doesn't hit at all? So there's some huge market losers, there's some huge potential here. There certainly is the ability that your opponent might drop. And there's another factor that you should always look at well ahead of time, and that's the risks and rewards of a given situation. When you turn the cube here, a gammon would win you the match, and there's a huge gammon potential here if red performs well and hits and blue doesn't respond well. So this is a double and a take. And here is why we need to study the game and understand it better, because if you just move this checker to here, it's going to be a big drop, a huge drop. That was a big take, by the way. It's a huge drop because the 5s are unduplicated now. There are more rolls that hit this checker and this checker. A 6-3 and a 6-5 hit 2. When you're here, only a double 5 and a 5-3 will hit this checker and this checker. Of course, there's 5-2 hits 2 and 5-4, but you have those same double combinations from here, 6-2 and 6-4. So, but you just have so many more chances to hit from here. This becomes a huge pass. Another thing that I think you'll find interesting is that if you lower the gammon value, one of the real risks here is that red could win right now at this point around 37% gammons. Of course, if he hits and blue doesn't roll a 5 or doesn't come in right away, those gammons are going to shoot way up. But it's the gammon values that make this position so tough, because blue can still win this game close to 40% of the time. Now change the score to where the gammon values are 0.5 instead of, or closer to 0.5 instead of closer to 1.0, and watch what happens. It becomes a huge take. Exact same position. This is the one where it's unduplicated. The gammons are still about the same. The wins are still about the same. The difference is the gammon value. So you really need to know those gammon values. You really need to see and understand. And I don't have every single one of them memorized. I have most of them memorized just because I keep checking it and studying it. But most of the time I know that based on what a gammon does for you compared to winning the game, whether it's a very high value or a middle value or a low value. So you need to familiarize yourself with that. You need to look at the position, the volatility, market losers, Woolsey's laws, great, and duplication, what's likely to happen on the next roll. There's just a lot of things that go into this game in cube action, and this was, I thought, a very good illustration of it. Over the board, I was fortunately read in this position and got it right in double. That was the easy part, and my opponent was not quite as skillful in getting it right to take. He was very much afraid, and this is the original position, and dropped the cube and gave me a free point. When I say free point, maybe he could have taken and lost anyway, but I feel fortunate anytime my opponent makes a wrong decision. I picked up a quick point when I could have easily lost this game had he taken. So I'm happy anytime my opponent makes a mistake, not because I enjoy seeing other people make mistakes, because it increases my chances of winning when that happens. Thanks for watching, and I'll have more videos with guest lecturers on this station at the USBGF. Look forward to the next tournament in Novi, Michigan, one of the biggest and best tournaments in the world, and run by Carol Cole. I will be giving a lecture there called How the Giants Got That Way, and the answer is not heredity. The answer is they worked for it, but I'm going to give you some of the ideas and shortcuts that might help you if you really want to improve your game in my lecture there. Look forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.